Hello, this is Ashee from Crafting with Ashee and welcome to this paper crafting tutorial. This is the lovely card we're making today. It features the Happy Hibiscus stamp set and we've actually watercoloured these glorious florals. So I've done some stamping already because I stamped too many the first time. As you can see, so I've got tons of florals, so I don't want to waste them, but I do need to stamp some extra leaves. So I'm going to do that here with you now. And it's a two-step stamping, so you can stamp and colour in using the stamps, but I'm going to actually watercolour today, so I'm going to show you how to do some beautiful watercolouring today. And there's just the stamp set. So I'm going to stamp in permanent ink. You can use Staton. I'm using an archival ink here. Whatever floats your boat will work. And I am just stamping on some scrap of Fluid 100 watercolor paper. You do need watercolor paper. You need paper that can stand up to the water, whereas if you just did it on basic white, you would find the paper starts to basically disintegrate after a while. It just can't cope with so much water, so you do need to use the right cardstock for the right job. So here we're using Fluid 100 watercolor paper. Okay, so I'm just taking away my grid paper because I don't want it to get all wet. And I'm bringing in my water painters here. You can use a water brush, or you can just use a normal paintbrush with some water. And I'm also putting down just some water here in the corner, but I don't have a tub of water like I should. And we're going to paint using our ink pads. So we're going to get some ink from our ink pads, and to do that all I'm going to do is flip it over, put some pressure on the back as you can see, and then it transfers to the front. And then I'm just going to use my water painter to just pick up that ink, and we're just going to play and watercolour. Now with anything, you can always put more colour in, but it's more difficult to take it out, though watercolouring is a very forgiving process, so it does allow you to cover up mistakes much more easily than say alcohol markers would. So here you can see I'm starting with my first colour, and this is Real Red, and I'm just putting down a very light wash of that colour. It looks much lighter on camera than it is in real life. You'll see on the still shots at the very end how much darker it is in real life. And you can see the still shots all on my blog post. If you want any more information about the project, the supply list, measurements, all that sort of stuff, it's also all listed and linked in the blog post. So do check that out. And everything is linked below in the description box. So you can find there my social media links, you can find my blog and everything. So you can see here for the three florals, I'm just going to keep them the same colour, because I find it's just nice to have a block of colour. It's more, to my mind, it's more impactful than if I had three different colours. But you do obviously whatever works for you. So as I said, I'm just putting down a light wash, and what basically that means is I'm diluting the colour quite a bit with my water. So this is a water painter, so there's water in the barrel of the pen that I can squeeze through. I'm also taking some water from that little puddle of water that I spritzed out, and then I've got a very, very light wash of watercolour. And now here I'm going to go in with some more colour. You can see here it's starting to come together. I'm just going to go in, so I want it to be darker in the centre and lighter towards the outside, so I'm just going to blend that out as I go out. And we're going to do the same for all of our little florals here. So what's your favourite colouring medium? Do you like to watercolour? Do you just like pencils? Do you like the Stampin' Up markers, alcohol markers? What's your favourite way to colour in? This is the way I started in papercraft, doing watercolouring, and I've always loved it. There's something so relaxing and so freeing about doing watercolouring, just letting the water move and move the ink. I find it extremely relaxing, and I think, though I do enjoy very much my alcohol markers and I do use them a lot, when I come back to do some watercolouring, it's like coming back to an old friend. I love it. I use sometimes the watercolour pencils as well, and I find those really really fun to use. You can use the watercolour pencils as well, just as normal colouring pencils. You don't need to add water to them. You can just use them as normal pencils, and I've done that in the past and it's come out really well. Right, so as you can see here, we've really darkened up the centre of these flowers. You could use another colour, you could use a deeper red in the centre here, like cherry cobbler or something, but I wanted to keep to a very limited colour palette for this card, because I wanted to show you don't need to have a lot of colours to make something really pretty, you know. So we're just going to do this little floral here. And here I'm trying not to dilute it too much with water in the centre so it stays nice and vibrant, and then just dilute it as it goes out along the petals to blend that out. So there we go. That is our card. And now if you want to clean your water painter, you just keep squeezing it until the water's clear, then the brush is clear. So that is our florals. So now we're going to do exactly the same thing for our leaves, and this is what colour is this now? I can't remember. Oh dear, this is Old Olive. There we go, that's it. And I'm doing the same. I'm just picking it up very lightly, a lot of water, squeezed through from the barrel of the water painter, and also picked up from that little pile. I put as you saw, I spritzed a clean little pile of water for myself to work with. And always make sure you have a little clean cloth with you as well to wipe your brush, to wipe off any spills, etc. like that. So there we go. So there's our first layer of green down. So now we're going to slowly just move on to putting in some highlights and some darkening shades and such like with this. There we go. So now you can see here I'm going in for this really deep here where I haven't diluted it at all, and then really adding that deeper colour. Of course the camera does wash out quite a bit of the colouring, so you can't actually see what's going on that easily. But it's one of those things where practice will help. Like any kind of colouring, the more you do it, the better you get at it. So just keep on giving it a go and just take your time. There's no right or wrong. If you're not happy with something, just restamp it and try it again. It's not the end of the world. It's just paper and ink. It's nothing to be frightened of. It's not this amazing thing to be scared of. Just paper and ink. That's all it is. And I've kept here very much to the colour theory, where I've done red, an opposite red on the colour wheel is green, and it's exactly what I've done here, red and green. That means I know that each will pop against each other really well. Of course the leaves are green, but it's why I went for the red flowers. I really wanted them to pop against the green. There we go. So we're nearly finished with these foliage pieces. And I will let everything dry when I finish doing this before I actually die cut it. I possibly will just take the heat tool to it to give it a really good dry, but you don't want anything to smudge later on. Here you can just see me clean my water brush up. There you go. I've decided to come back with the red. Sometimes if you're not sure about something, it's good just to leave it and then come back once everything is nicely dried off, and then add more colour. But here I'm coming in with just some little red here, undiluted, and I'm just adding little dots on the petals just to give some added detail, some added interest, just to help the colour from looking so flat. There is some dots and details already in the sketch lines, so I'm just enhancing that with some extra dots using the real red ink, like that. sometimes it's difficult to know when to say enough is as good as a feast, but I decided I wanted a little bit more colour there in the centre of each of my flowers, so that centre is really nice and deep and dark. There we go. Alright, so clean our pen again. There we go. Always make sure you clean it after you've used it while the ink is still wet. It's much easier to clean it then than later on. Okay, so now we're going to let that dry, as I said, and I'm putting everything away while I let it dry for a bit, and then I will cut it out using the matching dies, which are the Happy Hibiscus dies, and then I will also cut out some cardstock using the Everyday Archers, and this is the Take to the Sky designer series paper. Right, everything by magic is die cut out and ready to be stuck down, so let's assemble our card. Our card base is real red, so that's a standard A6 card base. That's an A4 sheet cut in half and then folded in half, and I've got two pieces of white that measure 14.35 centimeters by 10. One is going to go on the outside and then another one is going to go on the inside. For the inside one, we want to add a little bit of colour using some ink blending, and this is going to be Pool Party, and you can see here I'm just making some pencil marks underneath the little arch to show roughly where you'll be able to see, and that's where I want to put down my Pool Party ink. I'm just starting off the grid paper and just adding some colour so it looks like it's sky behind those lovely blooms. So let's do that. As with the watercolouring, take your time, don't be too heavy handed, just build up that colour and you achieve something you're really happy with. Right, so that's done. So let's put everything together. We're going to do some more stamping with you in mind. Stamp set, and this is a lovely sentiment stamp set, and we're going to use Best Wishes is our sentiment, and I'm going to just stamp this in Memento Tuxedo Black. We don't need to use stays on because this is just normal stamping, and I'm just going to use my outer arch to figure out where I want to put my sentiment. I'll have it down there, thank you. Let's give that a good clean and put that back in its little home before it goes missing. Right, so let's stick down our arch. I'm just going to use some Tombow to do this. I'm just going to stick that on the front here. Lovely. Right, let's stick this on our card base that I said was real red. Isn't it pretty? So now we want to start to arrange our florals. So some of them I'm going to put down flat, some of them I'm going to have topped up using dimensionals. So let's put those on here and take off those blessed backings that take forever to go and never seem to stay in the bin. Right, so let's put down our first flower there and then figure out where we want to put the rest of our flowers. So this one I'm just going to put down flat with some Tombow and then this one as well. Lovely. And now I'm just going to tuck in some foliage around our little spot here, our little tuck spot, not tuck spot, our little embellishment cluster. There we go. I'll just keep on looking at it to see where I think it needs a leaf or needs something, just to keep on balancing it out properly. go. I think I'm deciding whether I want that or not. Where do I want it? Just put that last leaf there. There we go, there's our card. Isn't it lovely? I do love the combination of colours. So finishing touches here. I've got some of the pearls trio, and I'm just going to decorate around with a few pearls here and there on the back of my card. Not a lot, just 3. There you go. Simple and easy card, featuring the With You in Mind stamp set and the Happy Hibiscus stamp and die set. I hope you've enjoyed watching me watercolour these beautiful cards, and until next time, enjoy being creative. Bye.